everyone. Welcome to Talk to Us today. I'm Simrit.
And I'm Namita. And today we are very excited because today is the first episode of our segment Review Therapy. Every month, Simrit and I are going to review different books, series, movies, anything else we like and want you to know about it. We love reading books, starting a new series on Netflix, Prime, or anywhere else. But what gives us even more pleasure is to share and discuss the experience with others. For us, it's almost like a therapy. Hence, our segment is Review Therapy.
Absolutely. Don't let us tell you, we did not warn you that we love to talk, and talking to us feels like therapy. So we will be reviewing books, shows, movies. But if there's a new app, product, or even a restaurant in town or shop in town that you guys feel, or we feel that you should know about, or you guys feel that you want us to review, we'll do it. Please do let us know what you want us to review.
So, for today's episode, Simrit will be reviewing the popular new book, The Last Queen by Chitra, Banerjee, Divakaruni. And I will be telling you about the Netflix series named Outlander. I guess everybody knows about Outlander. So it is based on Diana Gabaldon's fantasy series of the same name. Let's see what Simrit has to say about the book The Last Queen first. Simrit.
Yes. So this is the book that we're reviewing today.
Like the cover.
Let's start off with, yeah, right? It's beautiful. It's Rani Jindan Kaur, as I'm going to tell everybody. But let's start with this author, Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. She's an award-winning author who writes predominantly about strong female characters from set in either mythology or from history. And although her novel, The Mistress of Spices, was a very famously adapted into a Bollywood Hollywood film starring Aishwarya Rai, my favorite novel of hers was and remains even today is The Palace of Illusions. Now, although we are not
I'm looking forward to read this one.
Definitely. This is the epic story of Mahabharata from Draupadi's perspective. I absolutely adored this book. And anyone who hasn't read it, Namita, next time I see you, I'm going to give you this. And you look at, like, this is me. I'm such a book nerd, right? Anybody who's read this, features in the top 10 books of theirs. So please do go out and read this if you want it. But we're not discussing this book right now. So let's get back to The Last Queen. However, this book, The Palace of Illusions, does set the yardstick really high for this author. So let's go to Last Queen. The Last Queen was released early 2021. So if you're watching this episode as it airs, this was early this year. And it's the story of Maharaja Ranjit Singh's youngest and last wife, Rani Jindan Kaur, who is featured on the cover here. And first of all, I'm a huge history enthusiast, which doesn't mean I know a lot, but I love reading about it. And I love historical fiction. I mean, predominantly one of my book clubs is set on majority historical fiction.
Me too.
Yeah, it's lovely, and especially when the author researches it and you get to know. So I'm always interested in Sikh history, which is what Maharaja Ranjit Singh is, because personally I'm a Sikh, so this resonates with me. But Maharaja Ranjit Singh, for anyone who doesn't know, was the Maharaja of Punjab. He was known also as the Lion of Punjab, or translated Sher-e-Punjab. Actually, under him, he united the entire Sikh empire. So under him, 12 different Sikh confederacies were unified, and it created the only ever Sikh empire.
Wow.
He died he was phenomenal. And his leadership skills, and though he was blind in one eye, it's quite fascinating. He died in 1839. The British slowly started taking over his empire, and by 1848, they had fully annexed Punjab. So I'm also always excited to learn about the role of women in Indian history, right? I think we all personally women need to know what was going on. But I have to be honest, I was somewhat disappointed by this book.
Why so?
So the reason is that the first part of this book, called The Girl, was not at all interesting for me, because Jindan Kaur's childhood was narrated, and a story was woven about how Raja Ranjit Singh and her met and fell in love and got married. And to me, it seemed completely fictionalized. I do know a little bit about this history, and I believe they never actually met before they got married. When the traditional wedding was done, they had never even met. So it seemed quite fictionalized to me. I think the author took too much liberty with her imagination here. It's not badly written, it's just
No, but
purely.
yeah, but isn't that the point of historical fiction, right? That's what is the fiction. The word is
Yeah,
coming.
it is fiction. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the word fiction's in it, right? I guess I thought there should be some elements of truth in it, but that's again me. This is my review, so I get to have liberty with that. I think there should have been some more truth. The only the only fact that I could see in this book was the fact that Rani Jindan's father was the caretaker and trainer for Maharaja Ranjit Singh's dogs. Now, perhaps there's some other evidence that I'm not aware of, and I guess it's okay. But I feel the author wanted to romanticize the story of this powerful Maharaja falling in love with a servant's daughter for the time, which seems completely like fictionalized to me.
No, but what's wrong with that? I think many people will love it. I mean, the whole idea
Yes,
of
and honestly, this, yeah, you're absolutely right, Namita. In fact, people are loving this book, but I'm not one of them. And like I said, I'm
yeah,
taking liberty with
it's
my.
your perception, right? It's your view.
Yeah. People have loved this book, but I personally was a little let down. Part two, The Bride, is about, the young bride coming into the house and the ladies' quarters, and, it concentrates on the extended families and the harem and the politics of it all. It obviously depicts a sad state of affairs for the young girls there. And it's sad, but again, it seemed a little bland. It seemed a little surface to me because I've read a lot about the ladies' harems and other books and stuff, and it seemed more fictional to me. It seems like the author spent a lot of like half of the book, like the first half, up to this point, the bride, um, basically laying the foundation for the real story, which began after Maharaja Ranjit Singh's death.
Oh, but maybe that could be because there is more concrete historical evidence post 1839, right?
Absolutely. That's completely true. So I was just trying to look at the book here. I'm not trying to get distracted. But so part three is the queen. And it starts because I think there was more concrete. Till then, she must have been just a
Right.
silent spectator and character in this whole story in real life. And then post 1839, when some of the wives, in fact, the chief wife, I believe, committed sati with Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and she killed her, and so many of the other women as well in the harem did. So maybe then there was more concrete evidence, which the British wrote down about this, and that's why it's definitely well researched after this point. There's more concrete depiction of facts, parts three and four, which is the Queen and the Rebel. The characters came alive, and it became very painful and heartbreaking to read, which is good because it is a painful and heartbreaking story. The story of how the British separated the young 9-year-old son Maharaja Dalip Singh from his mom Maharani Jinder Kaur, and they slowly, snatched and what, as they call, annexed the kingdom of Punjab. It's completely unforgivable. The
I,
British not only snatched the kingdom. Sorry, you were going to say something?
yeah, it's very painful when we hear such historical moments, like such things in history is like really, it's like heartbreaking.
It is. It really is. But they not only snatched the kingdom, but they also went back on all of their promised treaties, and retributions were not given the way they were promised. They would like do the accounts their way, right? The story also depicts a very relentless, stubborn, and sometimes even for the reader, a very obnoxious young Rani. But as a mother, who can blame her? She was trying to fight for her child's right and her own right. She truly made the British hate her, and there was an uncompromising and ongoing fight between them. Her bravery does shine through, but even in our book club discussions, we said maybe she would have achieved more if she was politically correct. But let's face it, we know how the British worked in other parts of the country as well. And I seriously doubt it would have made a difference if she was nice. At least she stood up, she ran away to Nepal undercover, she dressed as a maid. It's her bravery really shines through when you read this story. And everybody knows these are accounted facts, and how she escaped from right under their clutches. Literally, she was under house arrest and she ran off. So I just find it really surprising that she had that inside of her. I was wondering when I read this book, and maybe it's unfair to say, so sorry, there's the disclaimer, but I wonder if the British today or the English people, when they read these stories, do they feel shame or disgrace, or,
I
when
don't
they read
they I don't know. I mean they even read about it, or they even tell their kids to read about such history. I don't think so. They encourage
I
that.
don't, I don't know, because how would they justify it? They would justify it as the need of the hour, or that's how the empire became so
Exactly.
great.
I don't know.
But
Is
it
there
is
any?
painful.
I don't think so. There's no justification to so many things that they have done in the past. So I don't know how would
I
they take
agree.
it forward now. This, yeah.
I know. I agree. In the end of this book, my heart was like crying and bleeding, and I couldn't stop reading this book. Rani Jindal and her son did reunite in England, or they tried to reunite in India, and then but they couldn't ever connect emotionally, though they were physically together then, because it had been so long between them. And honestly, Chitra Banerjee completely redeemed herself in the second half of this book. I loved the second half. For me, anyways, it was really good. I would advise the author, if by any chance she's listening, to ease up on the sexual details in her new books, which she did
Okay.
in the book that I, which was The Forest of Enchantments, which is the Ramayan from the perspective of Sita. And they seem a little forced, sexual scenes. It doesn't seem like you need it in these kind of stories, but that's my opinion again. Anyone who's interested in this genre of books, I would say definitely read it. But if you're really finicky about like accuracy and historical facts, then you might as well give it a pass, because it has or just start from the second half, because that's enough. But that's all for The Last Queen. Go get it. I think you can get it at Amazon and Flipkart and your local bookstore, because you should support them
Uh,
too.
I think it's very interesting. I'm gonna definitely give it a read.
Yeah, it's good. The second half is really good. Okay, so let's hear about Outlander. I want to correct you, Namita. I didn't want to correct you in the introduction. I did not know anything about Outlander. So come on, tell me.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited to discuss this spoiler alert. I like each and everything about this show. I mean, I never enjoyed history during my school days, but I do love historical fiction so much now. And I feel, whether, it's a series or it's period films or anything, I enjoy them more now. And I strongly feel that there is some connection that has developed in my brain over these years that has just made me that has just made me appreciate each and everything about this historical, if it's fiction or a series, so much now. The culture, the lifestyle, all of those times, I just enjoy them so much now. And that's why I was very much fascinated by the book, The Last Queen, and I'm looking forward to read it. Though
Yeah.
I haven't read Outlander books, so I didn't really know much when I started this series. I found out that Gobbleton began the first volume of this book in 1981, and she finished it in 1991. So it took her 10 years to write yes, write this, one book, 10 years. And I further researched, every book took almost 10 years. That's amazing, right?
Oh my God, we should read the books, right? Like I love the book. Like we
Yeah.
should read.
And this whole idea of time travel in the 18th century itself is so fascinating. It's like amazing. So, the first thing that I liked about this show is the music. Awesome introductory music, melody to ears, Initially, I couldn't understand the lyrics as the Gaelic words were used, and I had no idea what the Gaelic words. But after watching the show for some time, I could pick up those words like lass or lad or bonnie. So that whole, yeah, it's amazing. And this whole mix of melody, music, and lyrics, it just makes the music awesome. It's worth.
Music does make shows, music does make shows come alive. I mean, we don't
Yes,
realize if we're devoid of music, the shows don't come on that naturally.
of course, yes. But Simran, that is just the first part. The other thing which I like about the show are the landscapes and cinematography. I mean, I haven't been to Scotland, but if this is how Scotland looks like, already in love with.
Yeah.
Yes, it's beautiful. And the directors did a splendid job by creating those scenes and transporting you to different periods, different time zones all together of the same place. I mean, kudos to directors. I mean, hats off to them. And they have picked up such a talented team. I mean, of actors and the crew and everything. It just looks, everything is done in so much detail. Attention to detail is amazing. Every character fits into their roles perfectly. My favorite is Sam Hughem as James Fraser, Jamie. I think he is everybody's favorite. Oh my god, he has that perfect balanced look with a bit of cuteness and ruggedness. I love that look.
Sounds like you have a crush.
Def,
Namita has
def,
a crush.
def, definitely, definitely, I had a crush on him. And it's not just Sam Hughem, but there's another character, Graham McTavish as Dougal. Made me fall in love with the Scottishman. I mean, the whole vibe, persona, that bold and brave attitude, like dinner fash, I don't care kind of a style. It's just makes you fall in love with them. And then Triona Buffet looks so beautiful as Claire, calm, mature, bold. I mean, she truly is complete beauty with brains. It's really, yes. You should. I mean, if you happen to watch the series, you will figure it out what I'm talking about. You would be able to relate it. I guess this is the first show of its kind that have everything: action, love, drama, excitement. At times, there was an rush in the blood. Oh my God, what just happened? Or what's going to happen next? Yes, and I find this time travel thing is so fascinating. It's super. Every episode comes with something new and interesting, and
Wow.
which surprises you and makes you say, "Wow, what just happened?" You know, it's like, "Ye kya ho gaya?" You were expecting something else, and like this, "Ye kya ho gaya?" This is like least expected thing, and yeah, it's like the real rendezvous with Scottish history. The kind of war scenes were being created, and the real fight with those swords and those. I mean, it's really amazing. And not only Scottish history, I would say there is a backdrop of both world wars as well. And how can I forget the costumes? Attention to detail by the producer of the show is mind blowing. I mean, I can't think of any criticism for this show, honestly speaking. I am so much in love with it. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And my favorite, the romantic scenes are so well shot. Real tear jerkers, I would say.
Namita, I never took you as a romantic type.
Now you know.
No.
Yeah, and of course, some scenes were completely heartbreaking as well. And you really don't know what's coming next, which keeps you wanting more, right? When you watch a show. And my husband and I binged watched all 4 seasons. I mean, it's a definite watch from my side. There is so much more that I want to tell, but I just don't want to give away any more spoilers. You should go and watch. I mean, Simrit, you should watch it. I highly recommend it.
I'm definitely going to. So there you have it, guys. Namita says Outlander, yay. It's a
Yay.
definite watch.
Yay. Too many
So
years.
yeah, yay. It's definitely a good, great series to watch, according to her and her husband, who's silently supporting that. It's available to watch currently on Netflix, and it's 4 seasons. And she says, get the popcorn ready and the tissues out and watch some good shows. I'm definitely going to watch it now. Me and Mother were always looking for new shows to watch. So that's all on Talk to Us today. We look forward to hearing from you all. What did you think of our review therapy segment or series, whatever you want to call it? Send us an email at hello@talktoustoday.com or use the comment section below and let your friends know where to find us.
Right. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to stay notified of our new videos every Friday at 6 p.m. Thanks for joining us on Talk
Thank
to Us today.
you. Remember to talk about
Talk to Us today.
Right. Keep smiling.
Keep laughing.
Keep and most importantly, keep talking.
Right.
Thank you for
Talking.
joining us. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.